Hello, Tashidele. I hope you are doing well, and welcome back to study the words of wisdom from the book called The Jewel Ornament of Liberation by GAMPOPA. And yesterday we tried to understand a little bit about how does this karma cause and effect works, how many types of karma cause and effect are there. So we'll be continuing from that same chapter, chapter 6, the karma end result. So as we now understand that even though we have this attachment to the pleasure of samsara, this pleasure of samsara are not permanent, and they are nature of change. They are nature of the 3 different types of suffering. And we also studied different types of sufferings in different realms in samsara. So therefore, now we should understand that all those suffering that we talk about in different realms, are they permanent? Do one need to suffer all the time? Does one need to suffer all the time? So the answer is no, not. We do not need to suffer permanently, because all these sufferings are not independent or are not without cause. All these sufferings have the cause. They work according to interdependence. They have to depend on cause and effect manner. So all the suffering that we now experience are the results of previous cause. So therefore, we should understand what are the causes for suffering in samsara. So in order to free ourselves from the suffering of samsara, what we first need to know is, we first need to acknowledge that these are suffering. If you are fooled with this reality, if you live under delusion and still try to see the pleasure of samsara as a pleasure, and then you can't really free yourself from the suffering of samsara. Because if you attach to the pleasure of samsara, then what happens is that as a nature of fact is that they change. The things that you attach to, the people that you are attached to will no longer stay with you forever. The things that you attach so much will not be with you all the time. So once you encounter these changes, then you feel so much sorrow. You will have big disappointments, and you will have lots of difficulties to face these different types of circumstances. So if you know the reality of these things, or reality of those individuals as a nature of change, nature of impermanence, then even though we like them, even though we can have good time with them, but then you have this wisdom of knowing the reality of this as a nature of change, then you can just enjoy as long as they are with you. And once they disappear from you, when things broke down or breaks down, then you don't suffer so much, because you already knew the nature of change. So this will help you how to tackle your emotions, in our life. And this way, how we process in the path. And knowing this kind of karma cause and effect, then will slowly release our ignorance. Knowing the nature of change, then it will slowly release our ignorance of not knowing the nature of change, not knowing the nature of suffering. So once you know this, when you get this realization or this wisdom, then you can tackle things very easily. There's nothing that is impossible to tackle. So it's easy. Then those disappointment and depression, this thing will not take place, because then you know how to see the nature, see the change, see the circumstances. You can have this kind of internal strength of let going things. When things are with you, you are okay, you are not overwhelmed, you can still enjoy and utilize those things. But when they disappear, when they are not with you because of the nature of change, then you are not so disappointed or depressed. So this way you feel more stable. You can make yourself more stable internally. So you can have a kind of balance tackling with different emotions and circumstances. So therefore, it is very important for us to know that how does this suffering comes from? What are the causes for these sufferings? So therefore, GAMPOPA is talking about how karma and effect really works in this chapter 6. So we're still continuing with the fourth topic, that is the instructions of the spiritual master. And there are many different types of instructions. It is inclusive of 16 different chapters. So from there, we are now talking about karma and effect, what karma and effect is. All the phenomena exist in the momentary flux of cause and effect, every phenomena. That is why, as I mentioned yesterday, that the law of karma, cause and effect are the great constitution of this phenomena of the world, entire world. So therefore, when you talk about the karma and effect, we usually talk the 10 non-virtuous and 10 virtuous acts. So therefore, 10 non-virtuous are the general cause for suffering of samsara, and particularly the suffering of lower realms. Whereas on the other hand, 10 virtuous acts are considered as the general cause for happiness or the higher realms and happiness and liberation. So we now should understand what are those non-virtuous acts and what are those virtuous acts, how to apply a virtuous act and how to abandon non-virtuous act. So in order to do so, first you need to understand how many different types of karma are there and how many different types of results are there, the cause and result. So in order to understand this, we need to understand 10 virtues and 10 non-virtues. So we're going to continue with that instructions from the karma and result. Okay, before we do so, again, we need to generate bodhicitta. We need to go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha and generate bodhicitta, thinking that I'm listening these teachings so that I can benefit myself and all other sentient beings, and I can liberate and lead all sentient beings to the perfect enlightenment. Sangye Jodan Soge Jonam La Janjo Bado Dane Gyapson Che Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benje Sangye Drobar Sho Sangye Jodan Soge Jonam La Janjo Bado Dane Gyapson Che Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benje Sangye Drobar Sho Sangye Jodan Soge Jonam La Janjo Bado Dane Gyapson Che Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benje Sangye Drobar Sho Simje Damje Dewa Dan Dewe Gyudan Dembar Gyuje Dunga Dan Dunga Ge Gyudan Dewa Gyuje Dunga Meben Dewan Damba Dan Medawa Gyuje Nyeren Jadan Yedan Dewe Nanyon Jembo La Nebar Gyuje Simje Damje Dewa Dan Dewe Gyudan Dembar Gyuje Dunga Dan Dunga Ge Gyudan Dewa Gyuje Dunga Meben Dewan Damba Dan Medawa Gyuje Nyeren Jadan Yedan Dewe Nanyon Jembo La Nebar Gyuje Simje Damje Dewa Dan Dewe Gyudan Dembar Gyuje Dunga Dan Dunga Ge Gyudan Dewa Gyuje Dunga Meben Dewan Damba Dan Medawa Gyuje Nyeren Jadan Yedan Dewe Anyam Jembo La Nebar Gyuje Omen Chege Inge Bodan Na Desum Sangye Bunge Ngoye Langsim Je Gun Gun Sum Den Je Ba An Za We La Me Shab La Gun Cha Okay, so so in order to present this chapter, the karma and effect or karma and result, GAMPOPA has mentioned 6 different types of 6 different subjects or 6 different points to illustrate this or enlighten these instructions on karma and effect. How does karma and effect really works, and how many types of karma and effect are there? So those are the first, the classification. Second, the primary characteristics of those different classifications of karma and result. And third is the ascriptions of karma and result. And then we have strict result, the fourth point. And we have increase from small, that means increase from increasing of the results from the small cause. And then we have this inevitability of karma. So these 6 points really comprise the chapter of karma and result. Okay, so we continue from yesterday. So yesterday we studied that there are 3 different types of karma and result. First one was non-virtuous karma and result. What are non-virtuous cause and what are non-virtuous results of those causes. Then second classification was the virtuous karma and result. In other words, meritorious karma and result. What are the meritorious result and what are the cause for those meritorious result. Then third type of classifications of karma that GAMPOPA mentioned was this karma and result of unshakable meditative concentration. So this is really the very cause for to be born in the 2 Rupa Dhatu and Arupa Dhatu, the form God realm and formless God realm. So these are the basic cause for one to experience those different type of meditative concentrations and to attain those level of Rupa Dhatu and Arupa Dhatu. So he did mention these 3 different types of karma and result. So among the 3, first today we are going to study the first type of karma, that is non-meritorious karma and result. So among the 6 points, the first was classifications of karma, which we studied yesterday. And today, the second point or second topic here is the primary characteristic of each classifications. So we need to understand what are the characteristics of these different types of karma. So first, we try to understand the characteristic of the non-meritorious karma and result. Okay. So the first non-meritorious karma and its results. So I'll continue reading from the book. Generally, there are numerous non-meritorious actions, but they are briefly summarized as 10. So generally, there can be so many different types of non-virtuous act, non-virtuous karma. But to make it more, simplified it and to make it more easy to understand it, so briefly they can be categorized or summarized into 10 different types of non-virtuous act and its results, obviously. So what are those 10 non-virtuous act or 10 non-meritorious action? So they are, as I mentioned yesterday, that there are 3 from body, 4 from speech, and another 3 from mind, which makes 10 in total. So like the things related with body, the non-virtuous acts that are related with body can be taking others' life, stealing others' belongings, and engaging in the sexual misconduct. So these 3 are considered as the non-virtuous act of body. Then we have this another 4 non-virtuous act of speech, which are telling lie and using divisive speech to divide groups or divide friends. And then we have these harsh words. So when you get angry, you use harsh words to insult others, or to kind of take advantage, to take revenge for others. So we use different types of speech which are not pleasant at all to hear. So then we have this idle talk, simply wasting time, and or unmeaningful speech. So these three or four different types of non-virtuous act related with speech. Then we have these three different types of thoughts that are related with the mind, known as non-virtuous act of mind. So they are known as this covetousness and harmful thoughts or ill will. And then we have belief in wrong view. So these three are considered as the three non-virtuous act of mind. So these are the 10 non-virtuous actions. So these are cause. So we'll try to understand what are the result of those causes. First, we should understand cause, then result. Okay, so these come together. And these 10 non-virtuous, cause and effect or result, they can also be categorized or subcategorized into three. And that is to say that you can have different sub-classifications of these 10 non-virtues. For example, taking someone's life, for example. This also has different sub-classifications, different types of taking someone's life with different types of motivation. Then we have this result of it. What happens then when you involve in this non-virtuous act of body? Then we have this distinctive action, or in other words, if you involve in this act of non-virtuous, then you will have very heavy karma or very heavy result, and these are known as distinctive act or action of karma. So each of those 10 non-virtuous cause, they can be categorized into three, or in other words, there are three subcategories of each of them, each of these 10. Okay, so first we try to understand the first non-virtuous act of the body, that is taking life or killing others. So here, this is obviously not good, not a good deed at all. That's why it's considered as a non-virtuous act. And obviously we all love our life so much, we really value our life, and we really take care of our life, right? So if someone takes away your life, and that is really considered as a very big negative karma, it's not good at all. It's hurting, harming someone else, their right to live. So therefore it is non-virtuous. And now we try to understand how many different types of sub-classifications, or how many different types of taking lives are there, related with different types of motivation, obviously. So the first is classifications of taking life. So there are three types of taking life. Taking life through the door of desire. Second, taking life through the door of hatred. And third, taking life through the door of ignorance. So when we take life of others, when we involve in killing, so it can either be through desire, or through anger or hatred, or simply through ignorance, not knowing what is good and what is bad. So for example, the first one, taking someone's life through desire, can be your desire to non-vegetarian meals, your desire to clothing, shelter. So this all can involve with the taking someone's life. It can be not necessarily human, but it can be taking life of other animals. So we usually can see so many different types of taking life through desire. And the second, taking life through hatred, obviously, when you have had a bad relationship with others, or you have quarreled with others, or you have ill will for others, or someone has hurt you in the past, so you want to take revenge of those. So this kind of taking life is related with the attitude of hatred. And then we have this taking life of others through ignorance, is simply believing in wrong belief or making sacrifices, and in the name of religion, sometimes, unfortunately, yes, taking life of others and making sacrifices. So this, according to Buddhists, are considered as the non-virtuous act. So we now understand that there are three different types of taking life, related with three different types of attitude: through desire, through hatred, through ignorance. So he says here, the first one, that means taking life of others through desire, means to take life for meat, pelts, and so forth, or simply for sports. We can see nowadays people taking life just for fun. They're not starving, but they just take life of others just for fun, and that is very unfortunate, actually. And then also taking life for others for one's own wealth. So some people involved in business of different types, wild animals, killing wild animals and doing businesses, try to sell their different skin or any other types of, those are related for earning money, earning wealth. And also to maintain oneself and loved ones. So sometimes people take lives of others just to sustain, just to protect ourselves and our beloved ones. So unfortunately, some people also involved in this act, but it is still not a virtuous act at all. It is still non-virtuous act, and it still has the consequences, even though you try to do it to protect yourself. That doesn't mean that this karma will disappear. It also has consequences. So this type of killing is related with the desire. And the next one, second one, is the killing of taking through hatred. That means that to take life through the arising of hatred, out of resentment, or in competition, competing with someone else. So it also involves here competing with aversion, anger, or jealousy maybe. So with this attitude, you also take life of others. So these are considered as taking life of others through hatred. And finally, the third type of taking life is through ignorance. And here it says the third one refers to making sacrifices and so forth. So there are three different types of taking of life. And all these are non-virtuous acts. So this is the classification. And the next is the result of by involving in this act. What are the results one will experience then? Okay, here, three results. There are also three results because there were three cause, then obviously you have three results. Each results from each cause. So the first one, there are three results of taking life. The first one is the result of maturations of the act. Second, result similar to the cause. And third, the general result of the force. So here, GAMPOPA make it very simple, kind of simple to understand. That each kind of result related with each kind of causes. So maturations of cause means that if you have implanted a cause, obviously it will mature, it will ripen, right? Ripen. So that's natural, that will happen. So it has to come because it has complete cause and conditions. And then second type of result is that result that is similar to the cause, which means that if the cause is killing, then consequences or result will be having short life, very related with this or related with the cause or similar to the cause. And if you involve in telling lie, then the result similar to the cause will be that in the future people will not believe you, or your speech will be not respected. So these are like results similar to the cause. Or like just like if you involve in beating others, then result in the future someone will beat you, or you will be beaten by someone else. So very similar to the cause. And third type of result is here, GAMPOPA mentions the general result of force. So general result of the force of that karma. So there are different types of result as well. So we try to understand what are the different type of result here involving in taking life of others. The results of maturations of the act of killing others means that the actor, here actor, when GAMPOPA says actor, that is the one who creates that karma. So actor will be born in the hell realm. So that's the maturations of that karma. So when you kill others, you'll be born in the hell realm and suffer all this different type of suffering that we understood in previous chapter. And then second result that is similar to the cause, experiencing a result similar to the cause of killing others. That means that even if the actor is born in human realm in the future, his life will be short. So see, the result similar to the cause, because you kill someone, so as a result you will have a short life or shorter life. Or he or she will experience much sickness. So result similar to the cause. And the third result is the general result of force, because by taking the life of others, and it means that the actor will be born in an inauspicious place where there are little dignity. So if you kill others, if you take life of others, then as a force of that karma, even though you are born in human realm, you will have no dignity at all. People will insult you. People will look down on you. So this is the result of the force of that karma. So there are three different types of results involved. And the third point here is the distinctive action. So obviously we now understood that if you take someone's life, you'll be born in hell realm. Even if you are born in human realm, your life will be shorter, or you will have lots of sickness. And on top of it, you will have less dignity. People will not respect you and all. So these are the three different types of results involved because of the taking life of others as a cause. So their particular result, that is distinctive action act. What is this? That is distinctive act of taking life. That means taking the life of one's father, who is also an arhat, is a very heavy negative karma. So here GAMPOPA mentions father, but you should understand taking life of your parents, who is not just parent, but also has some kind of realization and has achieved the result of arhat. So someone who is your parents and is also arhat, then if you kill that kind of individual, you will have a very heavy karma, a very heavy result. So this is what that is why GAMPOPA one particularly specifically want to mention this there. So then we will be careful. We'll be careful. Even though someone is involved in non-virtuous act, if he or she understand this, then they will be more careful. Even though they are involved in non-virtuous act, at least they should not to create this kind of karma, which is very heavy karma. Someone who is parent and is also an arhat. Okay, an arhat. Okay, so this concludes the negative or non-virtuous act of first non-virtuous act of body, that is the taking life of others. Then the second non-virtuous act of body is stealing. Okay, so there are also different type of stealing related with the different type of action or different type of operation. Here, like stealing others' belonging, you can go directly and steal in front of them, grab and run. So that's one type of stealing. Second thing is that you're not that what do you call, you're not that ready to do that. You have no kind of power to do that. So what you do is, when everyone falls asleep at the night, then you break their house and then you steal things. So this is the second type of stealing. And third type of stealing is that stealing with the kind of deceitfulness, in fooling others. It can be pleasant speech, but there is agenda behind, hidden agenda behind. So this is also considered as a stealing things of others, stealing belonging of others. So we try to understand all these three. There are three types of stealing: taking things by force, the real robber; taking things secretly, hidden, or going breaking their houses in the night; and taking things through deceit. So the first one means to rob by force without any reason. Just go there and rob things of others. So why you do these things? The root cause of stealing is through attachment or jealousy. You want something, you are not you're appreciating someone's good deeds, possessions and all, so you rob because you have desire of having that thing for yourself, having kind of intention to have that things for yourself with the attitude of attachment or desire. So you do this, you are involved in this different type of non-virtuous act as well. And the second one means to steal things by breaking into the house without others noticing and so forth. So this is the second type of stealing. And third one means to deceive or cheat, or by fooling others or take advantages of others, and then try to try to get the things without robbing forcefully, without stealing secretly, but the action may look very pleasant, but there's always a hidden agenda behind. So this is why it is called fooling or cheating others. And deceive through measurement, scales, and so forth. So measurement, when to talk, how to make friends, all these deceitful acts, which are not true, which has a hidden agenda, and this is also considered as stealing things of others. So these are the three different types of stealing, the three different costs. So next is the result of those stealings. So we understand what are the results of those stealing as well. So again, here, same presentation, three different types of results. Result of maturations of that act. Then we have the result similar to the cause. Then we have this general result of force. So similar manner. The presentations are in similar manner. The three results of stealing, result of maturations of act, means that the actor will be born as a hungry cause, because it has this involvement of desire, or attachment. So as a result, one will be born in hungry cause, because you have so much desire and attachment. Because of that, you steal someone's belongings, and as a result of that, you'll be born as a hungry cause. And result similar to the cause means that even if the actor is born in the human realm, he or she will suffer from insufficient wealth. So you see the result similar to the cause. You steal someone's goods, and as a result you will born without enough wealth, or even though if you have wealth, it's always insufficient. Sometimes people, we can meet lots of people, some people, they are not poor, they have good education, good family, good job, but every time, even though they have good salary, they are always, lack of money. They are always insufficient of wealth. So for this kind of individual, you can say maybe they have created a karma of stealing in the past. So therefore, in this life, even though they are born inhuman, they are always with insufficient wealth. Something's not going well at all. You're losing money everywhere, so to speak. Okay, this kind of result is also considered as the results relating to similar to the cause. And then the result of general force means that the actor will be born in a place where there are more force and hills than normal. So unpleasant places, lots of disasters happening because of involvement in the stealing of someone's goods. So these are the different types of results of karma. Then particular karma, that is distinctive act of stealing, taking wealth belonging to one's spiritual master. So stealing things of your spiritual master is considered as a distinctive act. Here, very heavy karma. Or stealing things of three jewels, or stealing, robbing temples, monasteries, those belong to the three jewels, is considered as having very negative or heavy karma. So this is also good to understand, good to know. Even someone stealing, so at least they should not involve in this kind of stealing, unfortunately, but still. Okay, so this completes the second type of negative act of body. Now the third type of negative non-virtuous act of body is involving in sexual misconduct. So this more goes with the lay Buddhists, Shavakas and Shavakas. The Upasakas and Upasika. Misconduct, you should understand this word, misconduct, proper conduct and improper conduct. So there are proper conduct which are allowed for lay practitioners. If they are married, obviously some are okay, proper, but sometimes improper. Even though they are married, even though they are husband and wife, there are sometimes which are improper to involve in sexual activities. So GAMPOPA wants to make it very clear, so we understand and we don't make any mistakes, or we don't involve in non-virtuous act. So, okay, so here again, with this regard sexual misconduct, there are also three different types of sexual misconduct. So the classifications of sexual misconduct, there are three types of sexual misconduct. Number one, protected by the family. Number two, protected by the honor. Number three, protected by the dharma. So if you understand these three, then it is very easy for us to be careful of involving sexual misconduct. So protected by family, what does that mean? That means that you should not involve in sexual misconduct with your family members, your parents, your relatives, your brothers, your sisters. So if you are involved in this kind of act, then it is considered as a non-virtuous act of body and of sexual misconduct. Then second type of sexual misconduct is protected by honor. That means that someone is married to someone else, so you should not involve in sexual misconduct with them, someone's wife or someone's husband, or someone's belong to in the past, according to some tradition, sometimes people belong to king or queen. So this kind of individual also, we should not involve sexual misconduct. Then we have this protected by dharma. What does that mean? Protected by the dharma means that someone who has taken vows, or you can also understand that someone who is doing retreat, or someone who has a sojong vow, for example, or Sometimes you can say also in an auspicious month, auspicious days, like Sagadawa this month. So this is protected by Dharma. So it's considered as a non-virtuous act. If you involve in sexual misconduct in Sagadawa or Wesak day or particular retreat time, Sojong time, all these things. So later on, we have detail in presentation here. The first one, protected by family, means sexual misconduct with one's mother, sisters, and so forth. Second one means sexual misconduct with someone owned by husband or king and so forth. The third one, even though someone is your own wife or husband, even though they have 5 subcategories in different time, different place, different times, and so on and so forth. So here GAMPOPA says, even with your own wife or husband, sexual misconduct refers to improper part of the body, improper place, improper time, improper number, improper behaviors. So 5 different types here. Improper part of the body are the mouth and anus. Improper places are the close to the spiritual master or monastery or stupa or in a gathering of many people. Improper time are during the special retreat, Sojong retreat, Sagadawa and so forth, or when the partner is pregnant or when the partner is nursing a child or when there is a light. So these are considered as a improper. And an improper number is more than 5 times. Improper behavior refers to beating and having intercourse. So here, improper behavior is like when you are toxic or when you have drunk. So if you involve sexual misconduct, at that time you are not you don't have awareness, clear awareness. So you may involve in different improper behaviors like beating and all these things. So these are also considered as non-virtuous act of body. So these are 3 different types of sexual misconduct. Now the result also are presented in the similar manner. The result of the maturations of that cause, result similar to the cause, and result, natural result of the force. So the first one, 3 results of sexual misconduct. Results of maturations of the act means that the actor will be born as a hungry ghost. Again here, since it is involved with the desire, so you'll be born in a hungry ghost. And results similar to the cause, that means that even if the actor is born in human realm, he or she will become his or her enemy's wife or husband. So sometimes when you see people, even though they are married, their lives are miserable. They don't love each other. They don't respect each other. But since they're married, sometimes they have no other choices. They have to live together. So this kind of thing, very unpleasant, not happy married life. So you can also, maybe think this, maybe because you have involved in sexual misconduct in the past. So therefore, as a consequences, as a result of that, you are facing these difficulties or being wife or husbands of your enemy and all. So obviously, if you become a wife of enemy, there's no love, I think, at all. So things are not going properly. There's no harmony. All these things will take place. And obviously, the involvement of this sexual misconduct is, I think, one of the root cause for divorce cases these days in this 21st century. Many, parents, they divorce. Divorcing nowadays seems very, very normal kind of fashion, which is very sad because it involves in so many, situations. It will bring lots of difficulties for family, for their children. So especially the children will have so much difficult in their life. They have seen these old dramas of their parents, and after divorce, it's very hard for them to, get good education and get good guidance. So because of that, many children are having very terrible life these days. So so we really should avoid this sexual misconduct. This is the key root cause for disharmony in the family, and root cause for divorce, and root cause for the suffering of children. So I think this is also something that we should really pay attention to, and try to be as much as positive, and try to be as much as truthful to your partner. And with that, you will have kind of happy and harmonious life ahead. Okay. And the general results of the force of that involved in sexual misconduct, that means that the actor will be born in a place where more dust than normal. So even though you're born in human, you will be born in a very dirty place. So according to GAMPOPA. Okay. So another particular karma of that's important of sexual misconduct here, that is the distinctive act of sexual misconduct. And that is to say that having intercourse with one's mother, who is also an arhat, that is very, very heavy negative karma. So you can also call it like having intercourse with your father, that is also an arhat, is considered as a very distinctive act or very heavy negative karma. So this is also very important to understand or know about this. Now we completed the 3 non-virtuous act of body: taking life, stealing, and sexual misconduct. We understood different types of negative karma action and different types of result, and particularly heavy result, heavy big karma. So next 4 is involved in the speech. So first non-virtuous act of speech is lying. So in lying also, there are 3 different types of lying. There are 3 different types of lying: spiritual lies, number 1; big lies, number 2; and small lies, number 3. So the first one means the lie about having a supreme dharma quality. So some people, they lie. They say that they have seen deities, or they have met with Chenrezig or Manjushri, and so on and so forth. Sometimes people lie that they have great realizations, they have actualized emptiness or Mahamudra. So they cheat on people. So they are, unfortunately, they are this type of people in our society as well. So these are also considered as a very non-virtuous act, speech, related with speech. Then we have this big lies, means tell lie that makes differences between harm and benefit for oneself and others. Telling a lie that will have benefit for yourself and harm for others. So this kind of lie is all considered as a big lies. And then we have small lies. Small lies, we every now and then we make, these days. If someone asks you, where are you? So even though you are in cinema, you say, I'm in library, for example. So this kind of small lies are always, involved. So we should be very, very careful with our speech. Try to speak as much as truthful, be as much as truthful, and don't involve in lie. Nowadays, because of technology, the development of technology, even though if you want to make small lies, sometimes they can track you. Since you have this smartphone with you, they can track you where your location is. But if you, but nowadays people are becoming more smarter, then they don't want to switch that location on. They put it off. So anyway, all these small lies, if you are involved in all these small lies, then slowly you will involve in big lies. So when you're involved in big lies, then slowly you will make a spiritual lie. That is the heavy lie of cheating others by saying, I have met, I have gained some realizations, and I have met these different type of deities in my life, and all these things. If they really did, that's very good, very wonderful thing to. Very fortunate, actually. They have been practicing very well, so they are witnessing the result, that some realizations are there. But if that is not the truthful, then it is very bad. It is not virtuous deed at all. It is non-virtuous act. So we should not involve in those things as well. Okay. So the three different results of this then. The results of lying, results of maturations of the act means that the actor will be born in the animal realm. So if you involve in telling lie, then you'll, as a result, you'll be born in animal realm, and then you will experience all these different type of sufferings that were talked in previous chapter of animal realm. Okay. Then results similar to the cause means that even if the actor is born in the human realm, he will be slandered. People will not respect him. People will criticize him or her because in the previous life he or she may have involved in lying, telling lie. And finally, the third type of result, general result of force, means that the actor will be born with a bad breath. So sometimes people have a terrible odor from their mouth, So according to GAMPOPA here, he says those people may have involved in telling lie in their past. So therefore, as a result of that, people have very bad breath in their mouth naturally, without what you call temporary causes and conditions, but naturally by birth they have this horrible, terrible smell of breath. And the most important, the particular big karma of involving in lying is this: the distinctive act of lying is slandering the Dasgan one or Buddha and lying to the spiritual master. So if you slander Buddha or if you lie to your own spiritual root guru, then this is considered as a very, very heavy big karma of lying. Okay, so it's very important to know that. Then we have this second type of a non-virtuous act of speech, that is divisive speech, to make division, to make trouble in the group, to make trouble in very good friends, best friends. So you make them separate with your speech, directly, indirectly, or deceitful way. So in any way. So it is, since you are involved in this, it is this act is non-virtuous. It's not pleasant at all. You're making a two very good friend apart, and that's not good at all. Okay. So that very positiveness, you're trying to transform that very positiveness, truth friendship, into negativeness. Then they will get aversion. They'll try to fight with each other, accuse each other, and all these different types will take place, and it is because of your speech. So you should be responsible for that. So you should not. Instead, you have to, later on we'll know about the 10 virtues. Instead, you have to make people friendly. You have to be, meditator, making things better, bringing things together, closeness, harmony. So these are something that are advisable things to do. But here it's not divisive speech. Okay, here again, three different types of divisive speech here. There are three types of divisive speech: dividing forcefully, number two, dividing indirectly, and number three, dividing secretly. The first means to divide friends in front of them, making accusations right in front of them. The second one means to divide to friends with indirect languages. Not really in front of them, but indirectly, or indirect speech, not saying it very clearly, but the hint, and trying to make them apart. And third one is the secretly dividing the two friends, meaning going to someone else, or not telling in front of them together, but going to Mr. A and saying something about Mr. B, and later on going to Mr. B and saying something about Mr. A, not good things about Mr. A, and therefore, because of that speech, you are making Mr. A and Mr. B separate, who are very good friends, best friends, but now you're making them, turning them into what you call enemies. Okay, so this is through your divisive speech. Then the result, again, the result of divisive speech also has three different types of, in a presentation is in the same manner. The result of maturations of the act means that the actor will be born in a hell realm because of that. Because it involves kind of hatred and aversion, because of that, you will be born as in a hell realm and will experience all these different types of suffering of the hell realm that we studied in previous chapter. Results similar to the cause means that even if the actor is born in human realm, he or she will be separated from his or her loved ones. Because since you have involved into divisive speech, since you make some good friends apart because of your direct or indirect speech, in divisive speech. Therefore, as a consequences of that, as a result of that, the result similar to the cause, that means even though when you're born in a human name, you will be you'll be apart from your loved ones. You'll be very far away from your loved ones. You will not get the care and kind care from your loved ones. You'll be separated from your loved ones. You have no enough time. You will not get enough time to spend with your loved ones. You have to go somewhere else. Then general result of force, that means that the actor will be born in a place where there is uneven. So sometimes people, unfortunately, some people are born in the places where there's a big differences, in gender, in education, quality, wealth, and all. Some are very high, some are very low. Some get education, some cannot get education. So you'll be born in this kind of places where there's no even at all. Everything is discriminated. No right to speech, expressions of speech, no right to education, sometimes no right to life too. So these are also the results of that karma. And when the particular one karma of involving in the divisive speech, that is known as distinctive act of divisive speech. So what is that? Within divisive speech, using unpleasant words with the noble sangha is very, very heavy negative karma. So noble sangha, if you try to divide the noble sangha, and that is considered as a very heavy negative karma. Okay, so you should understand this, very, very important. And the next one is the third type of non-virtuous act related with speech, that is harsh words. We usually use harsh words when you are angry, right? We say some, something that we can't imagine. Some words that are so strong, more stronger than a knife. It really goes into your heart and hurts you so much. You can hardly forget these words. It will always remain there. It will always disturb you internally. So this kind of harsh words we should not involve in. We should not use this kind of harsh words. If you use, these are considered as a non-virtuous act of speech. So here again, three different types of harsh words. Direct harsh words, or circuitous harsh words, or indirect harsh words. So what are they? The first one is forcefully, directly digging at someone's various faults. Right on your nose, directly saying, insulting some people, digging their weakness, faults, and all. Second one is to use sarcasm or some funny words just to hurt you. This is also not good. And the third one is dig someone's various faults by saying bad things to his friends or relatives, to third person. You're saying something bad about your friend to his friends, or that particular being to his friends. So you're talking about something bad about that particular being to third person, and this is also not good. It's also harsh words, using unpleasant words. So these three different types of harsh words are considered as negative act of speech. Again, result, there are three different types of results. Results of maturations of act and that means that the actor will be born in hell realms because it's related with hatred. Result similar to the cause means that even the actor is born in a human realm, he or she will hear a lot of unpleasant news. Lots of unpleasant news of something goes wrong with their family, something has happened to their family. All this unpleasant news will come to their ears because in the previous life they have used so many harsh words to different individuals. And general reserve force means that the actor will be born in a dry, hot place where there are more evildoers than normal. So you'll be born, even though if you were born in human realm, you'll be born with a different society, uneven society, evildoer society, society that don't respect you, or society that are that they don't really practice loving kindness, compassion, or social values and all. So you'll be born in a place where there's a lot of evildoers and then the normal. And particular karma of involving in the harsh words is that distinctive act of harsh words, using harsh words to harm one's parents or noble ones, is very heavy negative karma. So this is one particular heavy karma. And the fourth type of negative karma involved with speech is idle talk. So idle talk usually also, when we meet friends, when we see our friends, what we usually do? First, we greet them, we ask about their life. Oh, we have not met for many years. What have you been doing? How's your health? How's your position? How's your job and all? But then after a few minutes, then you'll be talking, gossiping of others. You'll be talking about third person. So it happens, naturally. So this is not good according to Buddha's teaching. You should not be gossiping of others. So if you gossip of others, obviously you will gossip. You will talk about someone else failure or someone else success, and if you appreciate it, very good, but we usually don't appreciate. We usually insult. If you say, oh, someone has earned so much power and money, and then we obviously say, oh, maybe he has involved in wrong method, and all those things will take place in our in conversation, and it will then involve in hatred or jealousy talk, hatred talk, and all. So it's wasting of time and creations of bad karma involved thereafter. So that's why it is always good to stop the gossip and idle talk right away. Instead, you have to talk about something truthful, something good, something beneficial, some good plan for others, some good plan for family, some good plans for society, how to develop our society, how to help those poor people and all. These are good talk. Okay, so idle talk, it also has three different types of idle talk. There are three types of idle talk: false idle talk, worldly idle talk, and true idle talk. So even though it is true, it is also considered as idle talk and non-virtuous. So we'll see why it is so. The first one means reciting the mantras and reading the texts of the heretics and so forth. So these are false idle talk. Even though it is like reading or recitation, but if it is related with the text of heretics, then it is not considered as good. It is non-virtuous. The second one is useless chatters, worldly useless chatters, like talking about others, gossiping about others and all, or maybe backbiting sometimes. And the third one, even though it is true, it is still considered as a non-virtuous act. Why? It's because third one is giving dharma teachings to those who have no respect and who are not a proper vessels. So if you try to share dharma to someone who have no faith and devotion at all, then you are making, giving him an opportunity to give rise to hatred, wrong view, or jealous. Or if you don't check whether the student is proper, whether the student is really willing to listen to you, whether they are really interested, that's different story. But if they are improper vessel, then you should not even teach the dharma according to here GAMPOPA. So these are different types of idle talk. And result also, there are different type of results. Results of the idle talk, result of maturations of act means that the actor will be born in animal realms. Similar result to the cause means that even if the actor is born in a human realm, he or she, her vote will be not respected. General result of force means that the actor will be born in a place with appropriate weather, too cold or too hot. Now the particular act here, distinctive act of idle talk, within idle talk, distracting those who are practicing the Dharma is very heavy negative karma. So this is very important. If someone's doing retreat, or if someone's meditating there, if someone's doing yungne, or if someone's doing frustrations, or if someone's planning or having conversations that is planned for harmonious of society, try to mm, uh, bring harmonious, or try to help those poor people. If something that meaningful conversations are happening, so if you try to disturb them, or if you try to disturb someone's meditating, if you try to disturb someone's reading dharma books or frustrations and all, then you are wasting their time, and this is also considered as a very heavy negative karma of idle talk. Okay, so we'll stop here for today, and we'll continue to understand what are the three non-virtuous act of mind tomorrow. Okay, thank you. So let's all dedicate our merits by listening and sharing this dharma for the benefit of all sentient beings. Sonam deye tamche sikpa nye thopne nye be danam pamche ne gega nache palap trupai sibe tsole dowa rai.
Today, and now we do practice reciting the mantras and pray the aspirations. Firstly, we take refuge and generate bodhicitta. Therefore, you visualize that in front of you in the sky, they are Guru and Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. All the deities are in front of you. And with your devotion and faith, we take refuge under them and generate bodhicitta. Now we meditate on giving and taking. Tibetan called Tong Len. Tong means give, Len means taking. Now this meditation apply with your breathing. Your breathing is don't make long and short. It is a normal breathing. Firstly, you visualize that in front of you, all the mother sentient beings, all in front of you. Then they are all, what they want is happiness. What they don't want is the pain and sufferings. But they don't know how to get the happiness, how to free from the sufferings. Then they are all sufferings in front of you. Then now you breathe in and taking all their pain, suffering, and the cause of the sufferings. Cause of the suffering is the ignorance, attachment, or hatred, anger. Those are the cause of the sufferings. Now you visualize the suffering, pain, and the cause of the suffering and pains, or come out from their body, form of black smoke. Breathe in with your breathing. They go into inside the body. Then you imagine that in your heart level there are fire small fire. Fire will burn their pain, and the cause of the pains all burn, they just vanish. Then you imagine they are free from the pain and suffering and the cause of the sufferings. Now you breathe out. That time you visualize from your body that your virtues, your merits, and happiness, and cause of happiness is love and compassion, all come out with your breathing. It's form of a white color smoke. Then they all dissolve into them. Imagine they are receive the happiness and the cause of happiness. That they are free from the suffering and the cause of the suffering, and all the time with the happiness and cause of happiness. Okay, now we recite all the mantras. First, we recite Avalokiteshvara's mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. Therefore, you visualize that yourself and all the sentient beings instantly transform into four-arm Avalokiteshvara. Avalokiteshvara is a Sambhogakaya form. You have four-arm and white in color sitting and lotus and cushion. You see the pictures. So it's transformed. Your place is transformed. It's a pure land of the Avalokiteshvara. Your speech transformed into the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. That mantra Om Mani Padme Hum is the essence of all the dharmas. Your mind is transformed. It's our wisdom of Avalokiteshvara. With this visualization, your mind focus this visualization, they will recite mantras. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. You chant one round for mala. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Now we recite a long life Dharani. Therefore, you visualize above your head that Buddha Amitabha, the Sambhogakaya form of Buddha Amitabha. Now you visualize that from your heart, radiate light. This light go up and dissolve into the Amitabha's heart that requests Amitabha to give us blessing, the longevities, increase energy, prosperity. Then Amitabha's body radiate light. This light go 10 directions. This light we collect all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, body, speech, mind blessings, and also collect the energy of universe and essence of 4 elements. And they all dissolve into his long life vase that he is 2 hands holding the long life vase. Then all the energy go into the long life vase. Then all the energies are transformed into nectar. Now nectar flow from the vase, come to your crown and go into your body. Purify all the obscurations and obstacles for the longevities. All the sickness will be purified. Then nectar fill up your body. They imagine that you receive the blessings of all the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the energy of the universe, increase the longevities, prosperities, increase the positive energies. With this visualization, we recite the long Dharani of Amitabha 7 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayurveda Subhine Zeta Tesorajaya Tathagataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om sarava samkara parishuddhi dharma Gangana samangate sobhava vishuddhi mahanaya parivare soha om namo bhagavate aparimita ayujana subhine jitade Rajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Ambune Bune Mahabune Aparimita Bune Aparimita Bune Jnana Sambaro Bhajit Om Sarava Samkara Parishuddhi Dhamate Gangana Samangate Sobhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivare Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayojana Subhine Jitade Zorajaya Tathāgataya Arahati Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Pune Pune Mahapune Aparimita Pune Aparimita Pune Jana Sambaro Bhajit Om Sarava Samkara Parishuddhi Dhamate Gangan Samangate Subhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivare So Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayurjana Subhine Jitade Zorajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Ambune Pune Aparimita Pune Aparimita Pune Jnana Sambaro Bhajit Om Sarava Samkara Parishuddhi Dhamate Gangana Samunga Sobhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivare Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayurjana Subhine Jitade Zorajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Ampune Pune Mahapune Aparimita Pune Aparimita Pune Jana Sambaro Bhajit Om Sarava Sankara Parishuddha Dhamate Gangana Samunga Sobhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivare So Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayujana Subhine Jitade Rajaya Tathāgataya Arhati Samya Sambuddha Teyata Ambune Pune Mahapune Aparimita Pune Aparimita Pune Jana Sambaro Bhajit Om Sarava Samkara Parishuddhi Dharmate Gangan Samangate Sobhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivare Soha. After that, It's a medicine Buddha's long mantra and short mantra. We recite 7 times. For that, you visualize again from your heart, really light. This light go to the east direction, that medicine Buddha's pure light. Then this light dissolve into the medicine Buddha's heart. They request to give us the blessings and purifications. Then medicine Buddha, he remembered that he made aspiration. There's 12 great aspiration they remember. Then from his begging bowl, this nectar flow from the begging bowl. So nectar come to your crown and go into your body, and also nectar go into all the sentient beings' crown into the body. They purify all the sickness and the cause of the sickness. The nectar fill up your body. They receive the medicine Buddha's body, speech, mind blessings. With this visualization, mind focus, this visualization, faith, devotion to the medicine Buddhas, and the love and compassion to the other mothers sentient beings. Om Namo Bhagavate Bekanje Guru Bendroya Praparajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Bekanje Bekanje Maha Bekanje Raja Samungate Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Bekanje Guru Bendroya Praparajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Bekanje Bekanje Maha Bekanje Raja Samungate Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Bekanje Guru Bendroya Praparajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Bekanje Bekanje Maha Bekanje Raja Samungate Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Bekanje Guru Bendroya Praparajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Bekanje Bekanje Maha Bekanje Raja Samungate Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Bekanje Guru Bendroya Praparajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya recite Padmashavali. Now you visualize that deity, Padmashavali deity, in front of you at the sky. The nectar flow from the body. This nectar go into your crown, into the body, and purify all the obscurations, all the sickness, all the negative energies are purified. Om Bishati Paranashavari Saravanzora Prashamani Soga. 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 Now you visualize that in front of you that Dorjinam Jom deities. The nectar flow from his body. This nectar going from crown to body, purify all the obscurations, all the sickness, and the cause of the sickness, and purify all the negative energies. Nama Tenda Benza Krota Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Aimi Te Humbe Nama Tenda Benza Krota Holo Holo Tista Tista Benda Benda Hana Hana Amriyate Humbe Nama Tenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amriyate Humbe Nama Tenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tista Tista Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrite Humbe Nama Tenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrite Humbe Nama Tenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrite Humbe Nama Tenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrite Humbe. Now you visualize that mythic deity in front of you. The nectar flow from his body go into your body, then purify all the obscurations or the sickness and the cause of the sickness. Then all the negative energy are all purified. Om Burkum Maha Brahmanaye Puti Puki Bimale Ujo Madota Humbe Om Burkum Maha Brahmanaye Puti Puki Bimale Ujo Madota Humbe Om Burkum Now visualize that in front of you in the sky, that 8 medicine Buddha, and surrounded by other 16 bodhisattvas and other countless of medicine deities. Then we will have faith and devotion to them, then requires them give us the purification and the blessings. Samangate soha deyata omoy bekante 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 ranja samangate soha deyata omoy bekante bekante Mahabekante Ranja Samangate Soha Teyata Omai 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 Bekante Bekante Mahabekante Ranja Samangate Soha. Recite the mantra 108 times. Ranza samanga de so wa sim je ne ba ji ni ba nyu do ne le dar jo jo ve ne na ma le ba ta do ju wa me bra ra jo. That aspiration prayer time. When you do these aspiration prayers, you must think of a meaning of these prayers and have compassion to all the beings, those who are suffering in pain. Sen je ye me de ve ne na ge ji de ga so jo wa e ma e ju ro ri ji je tra je me che de se ja so cho ne ge do nga la ji ni ba ji de gan so jo wa ra ma ju ru ji ji da xin ji khai na ji ba da ne ge mi zaman te be da ji be nin ji ba da tai be ri sa ge le ji ge la ne ba ma ju ro ji ne be ge re don cha ji ju da lo bro yen do so man cha ju ju da xi jia zai xi ne lai so ba ye li ji gun lai ce wa ra ma ju ji li si men de wa ma li to ji be jun xie zhu be du nga ji ni ba ma li xie xie dan du de ba dan ce ren ne men de ji de ba ra jo la mai con jo Saman ge to je dan han do che zhong so me ne to dan len de lo wa me be de do ge wo wa mo la mai tai che do Repeat page 4. Le da lo bra ge ne jong wa yi den da ne da jong bo ce wa so sem je ye min de we ne na ge ji de kan so jun wa ra ma ju ji ji da she me che pe se ja ji ke je la li se men de la ji be so cho ne ge do ji ni ba ji de kan so jun wa ra ma ju ro ji ji da xin ji kai na ji ba ra nam ti de mian zang an te be da ji be nin ji ba dan tai be rin so ge li ji gun lai ne pra ma ju ro ji ne be ge re ton tai ji chu da lo bro ye do Saman jai do jo da xi jia za xi ne lai so ba ye Li Jin Gyun La Se Wara Ma Juru Ji Li Sin De Wa Ma Li To Ji Be Jun Shi To Be Do Ngai Ji Ni Ba Ma Li Shi Shi Dan To De Ba Dang Che Ren Ne Men De Ji Den Bra Rai Jo Lama Kon Choi Suman Ge Do Ji Dan Kan Do Chi Choi Sum Me Ni Do Dan Len De Lo Wa Me Be Den Do Ji Ngo Wa Mo Lama Da Che Do Pra Ra Shu. Again, repeat page 4. Le dai lo bra ke le jong wa yi den da ne da jong bo ce wa so sen che ye men de ve ne na ge ji de kam so ma ji Jidra Sheme Chepe Se Jaji Kichi La Le Semanda Jebe Soto Nege Do Ngala Ji Nieba Jide Kan So Ma Ji Chi Da Shen Ji Kai Na Zi Ba Tra Ni Ge Mi Zam Te Be Ta Ji Be Nin Je Ba Dang Tai Be Ren So Ge Li Ji Gen La Ne Ba Ma Ji Ne Be Ge Re Ton Cha Ji Joy Da No Bro Ye Do Suman Ja Do Jo Da Xi Jia Zai Xi Ne Lai So Ba Yi Li Jin Gun La Ce Wa Man Ju Li Xin De Wa Ma Li To Ji Be Jun Xie Chu Be Do Ma Lai Ji Ni Ba Ma Li Xie Xin Dan To Bo De Ba Dang Ci Ni Men De Ji De Bra Rai Jo Lama Gon Jo Sumun Ji Du Ji Da Kan Do Chi Zhong Song Men Nin Du Dang Lian De Lo Wa Me Be De Do Ji Ngo Wa Mo Lam Da Zi Du Bra Ra Shu. Now it's aspiration. prayer that means to rebirth in the pure land of the Buddha Amitabha. Let's dedicate this prayer to those beings are suffering and the intermediate stage or Bardo stage. They are live this life and no rebirth yet, and between the Bardo stage, they are wandering and suffering there. Then especially that those who have beings are connected with us that we use, then those beings are suffering and the Bardo stage. They will make aspiration, they are rebirth in the pure land of Mahasukata. Yamaho Mudra Sanje Nawada Yedam Yeso Joy Tuje Chembo Dam Yendo Semba Tuje Tono La Sanje Janse Pame Praje Gro Deje Mudra Pado Meba Ye Deva Jije Jave Singante Dane Dene Chebo Jumanda Chewa Shinje Parama Chebairo Dero Jene Nande Cheton Shoy Dige Dage Melamanta Pade Sojo Sanje Jansen Tamje Gime Dobra Jinje Raposo Teya Tai Pendra Teya Awa Bodana Ye So Java Seji Gon CHONYI Dola Jiran Dage Dizon Gizaba Konjo Son Lai Chebabo Jarave Demba Bejruji Gewa Senji Binamo Toge Sanji Todruji Gita Tamji Jide Tashe Jila Minjuruji Dinye Dane Zozote Tere Neme Nyamdo Be Tede Sajo Nanjuruji Namshya Sebe Jumanta Dewa Jendo Jijuruji Tene Bime Kaje De Bide De La Sanjeju Chancho Tomnim Jise Tor Tobe Towa De Brare So Sunan De Ye Tan Jin Se Bai Ni Thom Ne Nye Be Dai Namai Bai Jin Ge Ga Na Che Ba Lo Jo Ba Ye Si Be So Le Do Wa Do Wa Ra Ra Ri Shu